Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is not your usual content. We're doing something a bit different. I'm going to give you a complete trade recap of last week, showing exactly how the matrix model performed in real market conditions. You'll get to see all the setups I took, how price reacted, the reasoning behind each trade, and how the model guided me from entry to target. This is a deep dive into the actual trades, not just theory. So, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how the matrix model works and how it can be applied step by step in live markets. So, here's our first trade. Price took this low, and this becomes our sell side liquidity. Now we need a candle to close back inside the previous candle's low, which we have here. As you can see, we already have an inverse fair value gap. So all we need to do is place our order on the inverse, keep the stop loss below the low, and target a static 3 risk to reward. Look at the price delivery. Notice how clean and precise the movement was as it flowed directly into our target. This is exactly the kind of efficient price action we look for, with no hesitation and a perfect push straight into the take profit. Now let's look at the second trade that played out this week. Here we have the Asia high taken out, giving us a buy-side liquidity sweep. Next, we need a manipulation candle, and we have that right here. Now what we want is for this bullish fair value gap to get invalidated. Here we have one more fair value gap forming, which we can use for an even more discounted entry, giving us a better risk to reward setup. With the bullish fair value gap now invalidated, we can see our inverse fair value gap forming. This is where we take our entry, right on the IFVG, with the stop placed above the high and the target set the same way as before. So here we have our first loss of the week, but even after this, we're still up 2RR overall. Now let's move on to the trade I took on Wednesday. First, we get a clean sell-side liquidity sweep, and right after that, a clear lower time frame manipulation. Next up, we have a clear inverse fair value gap forming. As always, we place our order on the IFVG, set our stop appropriately, and now it's just a matter of watching how the trade unfolds in real time. The trade hit our target perfectly. Price moved smoothly into the take profit, just like we planned. Now let's look at our next trade. Here we already have a buy-side liquidity sweep, followed by a lower time frame manipulation. Here we have a small inverse fair value gap forming, which we're going to take our trade off sticking to our setup and method. So here we place our order on the IFVG with the stop at the high, just like usual, and now we wait to see how it plays out. Just look at how effortlessly and quickly price moved to hit our target. Exactly the kind of clean execution we aim for with this setup. Now let's move on to our next trade. Here we can see our sell-side liquidity has been taken out. We have our inverse candle, and the latest 15-minute candle has closed inside the previous candle's low. This sets us up perfectly to take the trade on the inverse. Here we place our order right on the inverse, following our setup perfectly. Now let's watch closely and see how the trade unfolds. Price tapped into the inverse and delivered our target without any hesitation. A clean and confident move. Alright, moving on to the next trade. And here we start with a clear, clean buy-side liquidity sweep, setting the stage for the setup. And the lower time frame manipulation right here. Now, what I want to see is price invalidating this fair value gap and giving us the IFVG. Here we have the setup ready, so we're going to place our order and watch closely to see how it unfolds in real time. Price is moving cleanly toward our target, and just like that, it hits perfectly, giving us our take profit. Alright, time to move on to our next trade. Here, once again, we have a buy-side liquidity to sweep along with a lower time frame manipulation. Here, we already have an inverse fair value gap forming, so we're going to take the order and see how it plays out. This should be clear in your mind. There's no strategy or model that gives a 100% win rate. We took our order here, but the market hit the stop loss immediately. This marks our second loss of the week. Now we're on my second to last trade of the week, and here we can see a clear sell-side liquidity sweep. Now I want to see price take out the low of the last candle and close back inside it. Just like this, I want to see price inverse a fair value gap. Here we have a small IFVG, and now we're going to take a trade on it. Let's watch how this trade unfolds. It reached our target flawlessly, completely respecting the inverse. So, moving on to the last example, we have a sell-side liquidity sweep. Now I'm looking for a lower time frame manipulation, and here we have it perfectly. Here, the inverse fair value gap has formed perfectly, giving us a strong setup. We're placing our order now and paying close attention to see exactly how the market unfolds from here. The market didn't take my order the first time, so I waited for it to tap again. When it finally did, it went straight to my target with zero drawdown. So these were the trades I took last week, and overall, I ended the week up around 25 RR. That wraps up the trade recap for last week. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, share it with anyone who trades, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. For daily market insights, setups, and discussions, join my Discord and Telegram communities. And if you want to take your trading to the next level with one-on-one guidance, you can reach out to me directly on Discord to join my mentorship. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.